All right, let's talk about a technological storm that's brewing, one that could literally shatter the foundations of our digital world. We're talking about banking, national security, and especially the world of crypto.
So let's just get right to it. Could a totally new kind of computer, a quantum computer, make giants like Bitcoin and Ethereum completely worthless almost overnight? Well, the unsettling answer is, yeah, it absolutely could. Let's break down why that is.
You know, experts have a name for this. They call it the quantum apocalypse, or Q-Day. It sounds like a movie title, right? But it's a very real concept. It's that moment when a quantum computer gets powerful enough to break the encryption that protects, well, pretty much everything you do online. It's the day all our digital locks just stop working.
And this apocalypse has a weapon. It's called Shor's algorithm. And I want to be clear, this is not science fiction. It's a real quantum algorithm that basically acts like a universal skeleton key. And what's scary is, it's specifically designed to crack the exact digital signatures, like ECDSA and ED 25519, that secure the vaults of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and almost every other blockchain out there.
But, okay, some people aren't just sitting around waiting for the storm to hit. They're building a digital fortress right now. And today, we're going to dive into how one blockchain, Algorand, is preparing for this quantum threat with a really proactive, multi-layered defense.
So Algorand's strategy isn't just a single silver bullet. It's a whole system, a defense in depth with 3 layers. First, you've got Falcon Signatures. Then, that's backed up by something called state proofs, which protect the chain's history. And finally, users can actually opt in to new post-quantum accounts. So let's start with that first layer.
The foundation of this whole fortress is Falcon. It's a brand new type of digital signature. And this isn't some experimental tech cooked up in a lab. Falcon is standardized by NIST. That's the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology. That stamp of approval is a huge deal. It means it's been rigorously tested and is considered a legitimate defense against quantum attacks.
And this is why Falcon is such a game changer for a blockchain. See, a lot of quantum-safe algorithms are clunky, they're big and slow. But look at this. Falcon signatures are super compact. They verify in less than 100 microseconds, which is just insanely fast. And on top of that, you're getting top-tier NIST Level 5 security. So it's not just secure, it's also incredibly efficient.
Now, for the second layer of defense, state proofs. These are also secured by Falcon. The best way to think of these is as an unforgeable, quantum-safe history book. They make sure that even if an attacker had a crazy powerful quantum computer, they couldn't go back and rewrite the history of the Algorand blockchain. The past is basically sealed shut.
And here is the real kicker. This isn't just some idea in a white paper or a promise for the future. Algorand's quantum defenses are live on its mainnet today, right now. Users can already go and create accounts that are secured by this tech. That puts Algorand years ahead in this high-stakes race.
This comparison chart really puts everything into perspective. You look at traditional chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're still using vulnerable signatures and would need these huge, complex, risky hard forks to upgrade. But Algorand? It's already got a hybrid system live, its history is quantum safe, and its path for future upgrades is so much smoother. It's really a night and day difference in preparedness.
And hey, don't just take our word for it. Google's quantum AI team, the people actually building these quantum computers, recently called Algorand a leading example of real-world deployment of these kinds of protocols. That is a massive validation coming from one of the absolute leaders in the field.
But this story isn't over, not by a long shot. While Algorand has built these really impressive walls, the fortress isn't completely sealed just yet. So let's talk about the work that's still left to do, because it's just as important as what's already been built.
Which brings us to the big question, right? Is this fortress truly unbreakable? The honest answer is not yet. There are still a few critical vulnerabilities that need to be addressed.
So, what are these cracks in the armor? Well, first, the core consensus mechanism, the actual engine that validates all the transactions, it still uses the old pre-quantum crypto. Second, most users' funds haven't actually moved over to the new quantum-safe accounts. Third, this defensive tech itself, lattice-based crypto, is still pretty new. And finally, any delay in getting these final upgrades done just creates a bigger window of risk.
All of this really frames the situation perfectly. It is a race against time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You've got the cryptographic engineers on one side upgrading our defenses, and the quantum engineers on the other, building more and more powerful machines.
So the end goal here is crystal clear.
Algorand has to fully integrate this quantum-safe tech into its core consensus layer and then get all the users to migrate their funds. Only when both of those things are done will the fortress be truly sealed.
Algorand has, without a doubt, built a significant head start. But the quantum clock is ticking. And it's not just ticking for them. It's ticking for our entire digital infrastructure. So the question that's left for everyone is, who's going to win this race?